I guess. Hi guys, Blake and Levi here with Lilleys Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful Upper Lake Taneycomo. It is Sunday. Is today Sunday? Today's Sunday. We'll go with Sunday. And it's the 13th of December. And we're gonna do the one cast for you today. It is snowing here in Branson. We've actually probably accumulated about an inch or more. Some of the roads are getting a little sloppy, and they're running just a little bit under 1 unit of water. We didn't go too far today. Point that camera just a touch more up. Yeah, somewhere in there. All right, and then I'm gonna have you stand right back here by that bag. Today we are just across from Trout Hollow Lodge over here in this little eddy. This can be a real good spot to catch fish. You'll see a lot of people with their boats anchored off to these logs right here, sitting right in the eddy and fishing the seam line. And so I'm going to just get the boat scooted out a little bit more, and we're going to fish this little seam. Today I'm starting off with a jig I used on the White River. This is a 1/32 ounce brown head, brown feathers on 2-pound test. Levi is using a sculpin and peach with a sculpin head, 16th ounce, and we're gonna float down and see if we can't catch a fish here in the snow today. I'm starting off with this 1/32 primarily because of this eddy here. The water moves real slow in this eddy, and you can definitely work a 1/32 ounce jig in it. And it's kind of hard to see the line with the snow falling like that. Kind of get mesmerized and lost in the snow. Will you point the camera to this side of the boat? Yeah, there you go. And I've never really tried a brown jig out here before. So, and it worked really well on the White River, so I figured I'd give brown a try. Nothing officially on the first cast. I do see some fish surfacing over here in the calm water. Oh, there's one. They do like the brown today. Aha! I might have to throw this jig more often. Ooh, that's a pretty rainbow. Okay. Ah! He's a feisty one too. Oh yeah, that's a little bigger than Stalker. Real pretty colors. We do have one fishing report from today. We had a boat out this morning before the snow really rolled in heavy. Oh, Levi's got one on the sculpin and peach. And Levi is fishing the faster water behind me here. You lost him? No. Darn it. So we did have one boat on the water before the snow and sleet started coming down real heavy. They reported catching 5 or 6 fish. They said they caught a few on the Signature Series sculpin jerk bait. I think they were using a 606. And the other thing they caught fish on was a black and olive 16th ounce jig. That is the only fishing report for today that I have. Now, last night, so yesterday during work, Larry Edwards told me that the night before that the night bite was really phenomenal for them. And they were here a week prior and had went out at night and didn't catch anything. And so our water clarity has gotten better since then. There's another fish. and the water's cleared up enough that I think the fish are able to see at night, and Table Rock's cooled off enough that I think we're seeing some pretty high oxygen levels, getting pretty well turned over. So the night bite's picking up. So of course, when Larry told me that the night bite was on fire, I had to go out and try it for myself last night. Levi, I, and another friend, Charlie, we went out to the dam, started about 10 o'clock. The bite was all right. We caught a few apiece. About 45 minutes into our fishing trip at the dam last night, I actually took a stumble into the water. We were waiting, but I tripped in a hole and fell into the water. I had lots of layers on, but it soaked me pretty much all the way through my waders. And instead of giving up, I just kept on fishing. And it paid out. It paid off real well. After about an hour, we went down to the lower end of the dam by the boat ramp. We were throwing the Signature Series French Pearl and Rainbow. The Rainbow is what I was throwing. And I caught my biggest brown trout ever. I caught a 30 3/8 inch brown trout. It was really awesome, really fun fight. And I did it soaking wet in 35-degree weather. But I'll tell you, the adrenaline rush from that was definitely enough to keep you warm. And Levi, actually, about 5 minutes after we landed that fish and got pictures and got a successful release, he landed his biggest brown ever right on the other side of the boat ramp. And it was a 19-inch brown. So we both broke our personal brown records last night. So really exciting. Missed a lot of fish last night. I only landed maybe 5 total. I think, what, you had about the same amount?
Yeah, about right. I just saw rainbow there off the dam. Chunky.
I talked to Larry and Lisa, his wife, and she had caught her personal best rainbow last night at 23.5 inches on a Signature Series French Pearl. Oh, he got off on a Signature Series French Pearl right before they left. So a night of personal bests for multiple people. And it seems like the bite today, even though we kind of getting snowed out here, the jig bite through this little eddy here across from Trout Hollow's doing pretty good. Last night they were running about a half unit of water. Just a perfect little flow. And the way I found that the trout were biting the best last night was an extremely slow retrieve. I mean, just barely reeling, and probably more reels and less pauses. Just keeping it nice and steady, slow, swinging with the current. And that was when I got my most bites last night. Seeing a lot of fish surfacing over here. This is cool. We posted the pictures on Ozark Trout Runners and on Lilleys Landing website now on the Facebook page. So if you want to see a picture of the big trout, you can find pictures there. Oh, there's another one. I was just letting that one sink. Man, I'm going to start throwing brown more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've known it can be a good color. I just never have gotten around to throwing it. And that one is a fat, very fat rainbow. Well, big old belly on him. Yeah, come over here. Turn around and cast over here. We still got a little bit of this eddy water left before we get back into the current. I'm gonna have to be careful on the deck today. It is getting very slick. This is a very wet snow we're experiencing here. I had another fish just then. But if you ever come across from Trout Hollow and fish this seam, just kind of put your boat on the outside of the seam, cast over the top of the seam into the slow water, and then work your jig into that seam. And sometimes once you get it out here closer to the boat, you've kind of got to let it sink, like that last fish. I was just letting it sink and he took it right here in the seam. I think the temperature today is 33, is what my truck said when I went to go get lunch. It's really not bad once you stop moving. Man, I needed a pair of safety glasses or sunglasses driving up here. You get going much faster to get on plane, and that snow just hit you in the face so hard you couldn't open your eyes. I will have to say, I think we're the only boat on the water today. I can't believe there's no one else crazy enough to come out here and do this. But I sure do, whenever the water's moving slower, I love, oh, there was one, man. I love getting in this eddy and fishing a 1/32 ounce jig on 2-pound tests. There he is, he came back for it. Ah, they're getting smaller. They're getting progressively smaller. Come here, little buddy. All right, well, I may have found my new jig color. Whenever they told me that the sculpin, the report I got from the guys who rented the boat earlier, when they told me the sculpin pattern was working and the black and olive jig, I figured a darker colored jig would be the way to go. Everybody wants to call me while I'm doing one cast. I don't understand it. It's like they know. It's really starting to look very pretty here right now. Beautiful. All the snow is settling in on the bluff and on all the tree branches, and it's just really cool looking. Kind of got to watch whenever you're drifting down through here. If you're not paying attention, it will suck you in the side of the eddy. And really, I find a lot of the time that those fish are right on that edge. And this is exactly what happened to me just now. Is I got a little too far inside, so pull myself back out here in the current. I'm giving the jig ample time to sink today. Some people like to park on the inside up there by those trees and then fish the current and let the bait swing into the seam instead of fishing the inside of the seam and swinging out. We've really only gone about not even 100 yards. Other than that, I don't really have any other reports. I know that the oxygen levels are getting higher, so we can look forward to that. Ooh, there's a hit. I can't see my line today, so I'm feeling him out. Oh, there he was again. Ah. This is the most I've seen the fish hit the surface in quite a while. And I'm curious if they're just coming up and hitting the snowflakes falling in, or if there's just higher oxygen levels and so they're getting closer to the top of the water now. Oh, I saw my line jerk that time. I had a bunch of slacking in it. It just went straight out really fast. Much faster than a 1/32 ounce jig can sink. If you're ever working a 1/32 ounce jig, you definitely gotta use 2 pound. I have tried it with 4 pound before. It just does not work. I mean, it may work for like a 10-foot cast, but that's about it. You can try that other rod I have in the boat if you want.
Try this other side of the boat here. Better luck on this side of the boat.
Well, we're finally made it far enough down that we're getting outside the eddy. Now that inside water is still moving slower because of the bend in the lake. But as it goes around, it gets a little faster. And once it straightens out to the other side of our dock, it moves a little bit faster.
You know, black and yellow.
Yeah. Levi's gonna switch over to the other rod we have in the boat. It's a 16th ounce black and yellow on 4 pound test. And that could be, if black and olive was working earlier for those guys, then that darker silhouette with the little brighter belly could do the trick too. I think we'll go for maybe 3 or 4 more minutes. I don't want the camera gear to get too wet. I'm not so worried about the camera as I am the audio equipment. Another thing I'll say about this bank here is it's got a lot, and I mean a lot, of wooden structure. And when they're running higher levels of water in the 2 to 4 unit range, it is a very good area to target big brown trout with jerkbaits. Now, the only downside to it is you got to risk it for the biscuit. There's a lot of structure. And if you're throwing a deeper diving jerkbait in there, you are going to get it hooked up on those trees. But those brown trout love to hang out underneath the kind of structure, especially when the water's running faster. And some of it gets underneath the water far enough that you don't hit it. But a lot of the time you can take your boat over there and get it back. But there's a lot of structure. It's on an inside bin. So when the water's running 4 units and those trout want to get out of the current, they can come over here to this edge, and there's a lot of that structure, so those brown trout really like it. And I've caught some really nice browns, not only throwing jerkbaits into these trees over here, but also dragging little jerkbaits across the bottom, kind of right on the inside edge of them, when the water's running quick. So if you're out to target a brown, I highly suggest looking for the structure. This one?
Yep.
Okay, they're smacking the black and yellow too. Oop, excuse me. Anybody gonna get the buzzer beater?
Probably have to turn the video off.
I've seen quite a few fish surfacing, so I'm going to speed up my approach here. Keep that jig suspended at just 5 or 6 foot deep. See if I can get to any of those fish that are hanging out near the surface here. Okay, well, didn't seem like they liked that method. It's gonna be my last cast. Here it is. Really got to put some oomph on that thing, get it out there, that 1/32 ounce jig. Tell you what, I know I've missed a few bites today so far just wearing these gloves and not being able to feel the bite through the handle. Okay, I lied. One more cast. Didn't like that cast. That's part of the last cast rules. If you don't like your cast, you get another cast. I'll work this one real slow. Get her all the way to the bottom. That snow is awfully mesmerizing.
And you can't look at it too
You
long.
can just get lost staring at it, and then you got the reflection of the water with it. Yeah, they're jumping right next to the boat. All right, I meant that one. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for watching today. Like and share us on Facebook, and we'll do it for you again tomorrow. Bye for now.